Rated T for Teen.
Squadra di ricognizione.
Howard, this is Robert. I finished my cap.
World in Conflict takes place in the late 1980s. The basic premise is that the Cold War between the US and the USSR suddenly isn't cold anymore, it's gone hot.
1989, the Soviet Union is going into a collapse, economical collapse. But with World in Conflict, the Soviet Union does not go down quietly. The Cold War setting was brought about by two big considerations. We wanted to go back to an era where the superpowers would duke it out. So that took us back to the 80s and to the Cold War. And we wanted to go into real-world hardware, and we wanted to have the hardware that we all know and love. The big tanks, the big helicopters, the big guns. There's such an endless well of wonderful military hardware to sort of scoop from.
The vision for World in Conflict has always been to create something that is truly accessible and truly immediate, something that people can just sit down, start playing, and within a few minutes learn all the basics of the game.
Traditional RTS maps are a lot about resource gathering, what's commonly known as dirt farming, and we don't have that in World in Conflict.
When you start a game of World in Conflict, you immediately jump in, and within 20-30 seconds you have your units on the battlefield and actually in a battle.
It's extremely fast-paced. You get in, you get your butt kicked.
When you play it online, it's really, really intense. It's absolutely frantic battles. There's explosions everywhere, and your first thoughts are just, whoa, what am I doing here? Whoa, I can't handle this.
In World in Conflict, there's three factions: the United States, the USSR, and NATO.
So we have these two superpowers that are going to basically start fighting each other. And we've gone to great lengths to make sure that the story is really plausible. So we've been sending the team around the world. So we've had a few guys be in Seattle and make sure they got some good reference photos there for the Seattle maps.
We went there, took thousands of photographs, and recreated many of the famous houses and locations in great detail.
We've been in the Mojave Desert, just making sure that we really got the desert look, and also visiting an Air Force base, making sure we have the sort of real US military feel. The Cold War is an extremely interesting piece of history. To make sure that we can truly depict that in a game, in sort of a what-if scenario, it's important to try to understand what the Cold War was really about.
We really try to make it into a realistic scenario. We're trying to make this into a war with ordinary people under extraordinary circumstances. We wanted to create a Cold War gone hot where the entire world is the victim.
Suddenly the Russians use a tactical nuke, and over the course of like 15 seconds the whole world fall apart, become blackened, and the clouds becoming, you know, like lead. That's core World in Conflict. You have something beautiful, something lush, and you just tear it to pieces.
Everything in the game is destructible, basically, except for Mother Earth. This means that all the forests, all the trees, all the houses, everything, every fence, every house, every car, every bridge, everything can be destroyed. So Seattle is in for a surprise in World in Conflict, you might say.